Hi everyone, my name is Erice McNeff. I'm the owner and lead designer of Everbloom Floral Design, and I am one of your 2024 Mayesh Design Stars. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through a live brand activation. This might be something a brand hires you to do at a product launch party or an influencer event. Essentially, if a brand were launching a product, they might place their new product on top of these pedestals. So I'm gonna walk you through what it looks like to create a floral installation surrounding them. A brand might wanna highlight this to create a fun and interactive moment for their guests to really create a wow moment to show their new product. So, whenever you're creating an installation, one of the biggest areas you wanna focus your attention to before you even begin designing is your mechanics. A healthy setup of your mechanics will save you a lot of error down the road. It will prevent your installation from falling apart, and it just really helps set a healthy foundation. So today, I am using foam-free mechanics. I'm just using these glass bases with hairpin frogs, chicken wire, and then tape over it to really create a secure foundation. Again, these are glass, so they're really heavy. I don't have to worry about anything tipping over or falling. They're really secure. And then to go on top of the pedestals, I have these Lumi trays. These are just plastic with hairpin frogs puttied in and secured tightly. These are all things I really like to prep and have ahead of time. If you're setting up something like this on site, it saves a lot of time to just have your mechanics ready to go. And then that way you arrive on site and you can begin designing. I'm going to place these in mind where I want floral moments throughout. I'm really focusing on making sure there's a clean slate for the product to be placed. And if a brand, might have their logo in front of one of these, I really wanna make sure that I'm not covering that up. So really focusing on just pockets of moments here to have florals. Again, focusing on negative space and focusing on the areas that the product is going to be placed. I might do something up here just to add a little bit of color up on top, but again, this is gonna be back behind where the product would be, so it's not gonna interfere with anything taking place up here. I'm also designing this today to be viewed one-sided, so this would probably be, if it were in a party up against a wall. This is not something that is 360 where guests are moving completely around it, but if you were designing in that type of a space, you wanna consider that and do a complete 360 walk as you're placing your mechanics. This one I'm gonna place back here behind, kind of just create a peekaboo moment and create something tall to maybe show in this space over here. Okay, so these are all filled with water. They're good to go. When a mechanic like this is filled with water, that adds additional weight to help support your structure, which is really helpful. Another thing that you wanna keep in mind if you are designing these on site is just making sure that you are bringing materials to help you clean as you go. You never wanna create a huge mess in a space where a party is going to be held, so making sure that you have rags, sometimes setting tarps down, obviously always bringing a broom. You always wanna make sure that your brand is presenting itself in a professional way, which will really help you get hired again in the future. So to start today, I'm going to, using a lot of this gorgeous product that Mayesh provided. This lilac is stunning and I'm so excited to be working with it. I'm gonna use a lot of this kind of as my foundation to, again, really help set the shape and the frame of our installation today. So I'm gonna be working with the lilac. I have some spirea and some viburnum, which I'm gonna be using kind of as our foundation. So to start, I started with lilac, and really right now I'm just kind of focusing on, again, creating that skeletal structure, the outline of what we're working on. I'm focusing purple in some pockets. You notice I didn't go ahead and fill in everything here with purple, and that's just because I want to create interest in the piece. And so by focusing color saturation in some areas, you're going to really draw your eye there more than others. And so now that we have our lilac, I'm going to come in with some of the viburnum and continue to get our base started. Okay, so now that we have more of our foundation set, we've got a good base layer of greenery and lilac, again, as our filler. I'm gonna start to kind of come in with some of our wow flowers. So we've got these amazing bearded irises that I'm gonna be working with. Our color palette today is more of a purple and gold. And these are gonna work as our bridge flower because it's the one bloom that incorporates both purple and gold. So it's gonna really help cross that floral color bridge, which a little bit of color theory for you. So I'm gonna start to work these in kind of in pockets. I think right here is a good focal moment for them. And again, I'll focus on balancing them both low and high and focusing them in clusters throughout the arrangement. So now I'm gonna come in with these alliums that are another shade of purple. So I'm gonna kind of use these to balance out where we do have moments of lilac. These are a really fun and playful stem with just such a long stem and then a big explosion on top. They're really going to catch the eye of, you know, the people that are looking at your arrangement. So placing these in an intentional spot, you don't wanna place them everywhere. You really wanna focus, again, focal points and moments throughout your design to use them. So when I'm designing and I'm trying to decide like how many flowers do I want to place in one area of my design, sticking with odd numbers is a really good place to start. I think that that's a tip most of us know. You want to stick with things in like 3s, 5s, 7s. It just creates a more harmonious balance to your piece. So I'm going to do a lower moment here to help ground the piece, and then I'm going to do a couple of them higher here, which is going to help balance this out again. If we have a low moment where your eye catches here, you want to balance it out with something high on this side. So up until this point, we've worked with a lot of purple, which has kind of been more of our foundational color throughout all of this. Now we're going to bring in some yellow. Again, purple and yellow are opposites on the color wheel. So whenever you have a foundation of purple and you bring in yellow, your eye is really going to go straight to the yellow. So again, we just want to be really careful on where we're placing this and making sure that we are focusing it in areas where we want the viewer's eye to automatically go to. I like to start low, or in this case, again, if a brand is hiring you and they have their logo on the front of this pedestal or their new product on top, I think you want the viewer's eye to go there first. So making sure that you are highlighting yellow in areas where we want that to stand out. So I think I'm gonna add some yellow in here as if there was a product here on this point. Bring your eye all the way through and then maybe focus some yellow again down here in this pocket. One of the nice things about working with a foam-free mechanic is that when you're using a vase like this and you have a lot of stems coming in, it makes it much easier to just slip in softer stems versus using foam. You really have to dig through what you've already got going to make sure that the flower is drinking water. With this, I don't have to worry about it. I can just give it a fresh cut and slip it into my design and keep going. Okay, so something that is really important to keep in mind when you are designing, especially in setting something up on site, you really wanna make sure that you're not rushing through and you just wanna take the time to step back, look at your design, make sure that things are looking the way that you're wanting them to. Don't feel like you have to rush through. Try not to get too nervous if people are watching what you're doing. What I'm looking at right now as I'm looking at this is just kind of noticing, obviously there's still some pockets here where my mechanics are showing, so I'm gonna wanna go through and edit that. I'm looking at my piece to make sure that it feels balanced with color, with the weight of the florals as well. I'm kind of noticing as I look through here that this looks pretty exposed. I wanna kind of add something else in here. Those are the things that my eye is really going to right now, but overall I'm really liking the way that it feels very textural. There's a lot of movement in this piece. So I'm gonna come in with some of this fern. This is a great product to use to help cover your mechanics because it doesn't need to be in water. So we can essentially just clip some of it and place it around our vase to help kind of cover some of this up. And we'll do so in a way where it doesn't look, you know, like we just kind of mounded some flowers here, but in, again, a way that has a lot of movement and a lot of organic shape and looks very styled in the way that we are adding these florals in. And I really like the way that this is coming out of the vase and flowing in front of this pedestal and kind of connecting the whole piece together. All right, and here is what our finished product looks like. As you can see, we left spaces for products to be placed on top of these pedestals like we talked about. We really created balance here with the shape of our arrangement, as well as focusing on our color selection. And overall, I just really want to say thank you guys for tuning in on this journey with me. Thank you for following along. I hope it was helpful in giving you some design tips to consider. And I would really love to continue to connect with you guys on Instagram. Feel free to reach out to me, say hi, and let me know if you have any additional questions. Thank you.